Hi, it's me, Pam. You said yes to God. You obeyed, even though it was, well, let's just call it uncomfortable. But now it's hard, harder than you expected. And there might be a question in the back of your mind: God, if this was really you, why does it feel like this? We don't always say it out loud, but we feel it. Sometimes obedience leads straight into challenge. Think about Peter. In Matthew 14, Jesus calls him out onto the water. And for a moment, Peter is doing the impossible. He's walking on water. But then the wind picks up, the waves get louder, and suddenly what started in faith begins to feel overwhelming, and Peter starts to sink. And here's what's important: the storm didn't mean Peter made the wrong decision. He was exactly where Jesus told him to be. So just because it's hard doesn't mean you miss God. Sometimes the difficulty is part of the process. In James 1, it says for us to consider it pure joy whenever we face trials, because the testing of our faith produces perseverance. That means the hard part isn't pointless. It's producing something in us, like strength, endurance, or even deeper trust. But here's where many of us struggle. We obey, it gets hard, and then we assume we got it wrong, so we back out. But what if we back out right before the breakthrough? In Galatians 6, it says, for us not to become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we don't give up. If we don't give up. That's the key, because the enemy doesn't always try to stop us before we obey. Sometimes he waits until after. He whispers things like, this isn't working, or you misunderstood God. But God is saying, stay with me, because even in the storm, Jesus was still there. And when Peter cried out, Jesus immediately reached for him. That's the kind of God we're following. So, what do we do when it gets hard after we obey? We fix our eyes back on Jesus. We remember why we said yes in the first place. We lean on his strength and not our own. And we keep going. Remember that Peter didn't start sinking until he took his eyes off of Jesus. So don't quit. Until next time, bye.